Good morning and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us begin with the headlines. Winter session of Parliament to begin today. Opposition closing in ranks over several issues, especially intolerance. Government open to discussion. First 2 days reserved to mark Constitution Day. Pakistani and Nepalese envoys call for return to peace and talks with India during seminar held in Delhi on World Without Borders. Central team to visit Tamil Nadu to assess flood damage in the state as death toll due to downpour touches 176. US military investigation says bombing of MSF clinic in Afghanistan that killed 30 civilians was a human error. MSF accuses Washington of gross negligence. And the French president to meet his Russian counterpart in Moscow today as lawmakers in France voted overwhelmingly to extend airstrikes against Islamic State group targets in Syria. Well, the top story, the month-long winter session of Parliament begins today and it is expected to be a stormy one with the opposition parties closing ranks to target the government on a host of issues, including that of intolerance. Now, the centre has expressed its willingness to discuss all issues as it looks to pass the crucial GST bill this session. The opposition attack is set to gain momentum from next Monday when the government brings its legislative agenda. Well, the first 2 days beginning today will be a special sitting to discuss the Constitution and its maker B.R. Ambedkar on his 125th birth anniversary. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that there is no bigger forum than Parliament for debate and has appealed to the opposition for a constructive discussion. He says he hopes the session will be productive. All right, so the Prime Minister, they're asking for cooperation really from the opposition as far as the winter session of Parliament is concerned. Remember, the monsoon session was a near washout. And this time too, again, opposition parties are closing ranks to target the government on a host of issues, including that of alleged intolerance in the country. However, the government has said that it is willing to discuss all issues as it is also looking to pass the crucial GST bill in this session. So the winter session of Parliament is beginning from today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi a short while back spoke and assured and in fact asked for cooperation really from all the opposition parties so that important legislative business could be conducted in the House.
कल मेरी सभी दलों के महानुभावों के साथ मुलाकात हुई। बहुत अच्छी बातें हुई, अच्छे वातावरण में बातें हुई और सबका एक स्वर से मत रहा था कि सदन उत्तम तरीके से चलाया जाए। सदन से बड़ा कोई संवाद का केंद्र नहीं हो सकता है। वाद हो, विवाद हो, संवाद हो, यही संसद की आत्मा है।
So Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealing to all to uphold the ideals and values of the Constitution and create an India that will make its founding fathers proud. Prime Minister tweeted, "Greetings to people of India on the historic occasion of the first Constitution Day. May this day inspire to know more about our Constitution." He said this day is a tribute to all those great women and men who worked tirelessly to give Indian our Constitution, which we are very proud of. He said, "Let us always uphold the ideals and values of our Constitution and create an India that would make our founding fathers very proud." He said in another tweet, "No mention of our Constitution is complete without remembering the stellar contribution of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. I salute him." Modi added.
26 नवंबर 1949 आज ही के दिन भारत के संविधान को स्वीकृति दी गई थी। भारत सरकार ने इसे संविधान दिवस के रूप में हर वर्ष मनाने का निर्णय किया है। देश भर में संविधान के प्रति जागरूकता बढ़े।
All right, my colleague Shyam Sundar is now joining us from Parliament for more on this. Shyam, now government is assured that it is ready to discuss any issue, but the opposition is set to raise the intolerance issue and also press for a resolution to condemn it. What more can you tell us?
Well, as far as opposition's strategy in Parliament is concerned, the opposition is saying that it is ready to cooperate on the issue of GST and other important bills. But opposition also insists that issues opposition wants to raise in this Parliament session should be allowed. Issues like intolerance, issues like reservation, issues like price rise and agriculture distress. So, opposition have given notices from left parties to Congress party. Almost every party has given notices for discussion, and government has also given indication that it understands that it is important to accommodate opposition if it wants legislative business to be conducted in both the houses, especially in the Rajya Sabha. So there are indications, but yes, there will be problems for the government because the opposition would like to raise certain issues on which the government is not very comfortable.
All right, Shyam, thank you so much for those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more on that story. And on Wednesday, an all-party meeting was held in a bid to find the middle path and help a House function without disruptions. The Prime Minister in particular sought the opposition's help in passing the GST bill. Here are the details.
At the all-party meeting, various leaders expressed their desire to raise issues related to farmers, rising prices and the debate over intolerance during the winter session.
जितने सवाल चाहे वो किसानों के हों, बेकारी बेरोजगारी के हों, चाहे जिसे एक साधारण वे से कहा जाता है कि जो टॉलरेंस है, ये सब मुद्दे अभी सब तरफ से उठे हैं।
हमारे बहुत से मुद्दे हैं जो हम रूल 55, 56 में एक 5 सब्जेक्ट दिए हैं और 193 में भी पहला जो इंटॉलरेंस का विषय है वो विषय ऑलरेडी हम नोटिस दिए हैं 193 के तहत।
The opposition put the onus of smooth functioning of the houses on the government, which said it was willing to discuss all issues. The Prime Minister appealed for cooperation in passing the GST bill.
जीएसटी के बारे में प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा, वित्त मंत्री सबसे बातचीत कर रहे हैं। उन्होंने अनुरोध किया और किसी के मन में कुछ शंका है तो उसको दूर करने के लिए सरकार तैयार है।
Congress and the left are keeping their options open on GST bill, saying the government has not yet addressed their concerns.
जीएसटी तो हमारा बिल था और जीएसटी को पास करने के लिए हम वचनबद्ध हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि जो भी बिल हो जीएसटी का वो प्रो इंडस्ट्री हो, प्रो ट्रेड हो और प्रो कंज्यूमर हो। हम खाली इंडस्ट्री की बात करें और कंज्यूमर को बुरा उस पर इफेक्ट पड़े, आप इतने टैक्स लाभ देंगे। अब हम 18% क्यों कहते हैं कैप रखो 18%? अगर आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट नहीं लाओगे कैप के 18% से ज़्यादा नहीं होगा तो आप एक साल 18 लाओगे, दूसरे दिन 20 लाओगे, फिर कहोगे पैसा और जोड़ना है 22 लाओगे और चलते चलते वो 40 पे पहुंच जाएगा।
सिर्फ एक मुद्दा है जहां पर राज्य सरकारों की सहमति की जरूरत है, क्योंकि जीएसटी आने के बाद किसी भी राज्य सरकार के हाथ में कोई भी टैक्स प्रपोजल रखने का अधिकार नहीं होगा। सरकार से हमने कहा कि राज्य सरकारों से बात करके उनकी सहमति लेकर आप आगे बढ़िए, लेकिन अभी तक कोई सूचना सरकार ने नहीं दी।
The opposition attack could gain momentum from next Monday when the government brings its legislative agenda to the table. The session commences with a 2-day special sitting to discuss the constitution and its maker, B.R. Ambedkar, on his 125th birth anniversary. 38 bills, including some finance bills, are awaiting parliamentary approval. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And in other news, a High Commissioner of Pakistan and Nepal's ambassador to India have said that there is a need for a dialogue and peace with India. Well, during a seminar titled A Dream of a World Without Borders, organized at the India International Centre in National Capital, the two envoys said that the thrust should be on improving relations. Let's take a listen.
You would agree with me that peace is in our mutual interest. And in order to achieve peace, we need to talk to each other. Because unless we talk to each other, we cannot settle our problems, we cannot overcome our challenges.
तो भूकंप के बाद में भारत और नेपाल की जो सामान्य जनता के बीच में ऐसा हमने किसी वार्मनेस पाया है हार्ट टू हार्ट बिटवीन द टू सिटीजन्स ऑफ द और दिस फ्रेंडली कंट्रीज तो ये देश कभी भी इसको देखिए फिर इधर उधर नहीं होने देगा हमें विश्वास है.
And now news from flood-ravaged Tamil Nadu, and the central team will be visiting the state today to assess the damage in the state as the death toll due to incessant rains has reached 176.
Death toll in rain-related incidents in Tamil Nadu has mounted to 176. The Met Department has forecast more rains in the next 24 to 48 hours. The incessant rains have meant massive flooding in many areas.
அது ஒன்னு ரெண்டாவது தண்ணி நிக்கிறது மெயினா எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப இந்த வருஷம் இவ்வளவு மழைக்கு ஸ்ட்ரிப் எடுக்காம விட்டார். எம்எல்ஏ எம்பி யாருமே வர்றதில்லைங்க, ஒரு அமைச்சர்கள் கூட யாரும் வர்றதில்லை. எங்களுக்கு தண்ணி அப்படியே நிக்கிறதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டுட்டோம் இந்த வருஷம். நாங்க அதுக்கு ஸ்டெப் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு முயற்சி பண்ணா ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும்.
இங்க டெய்லி மார்னிங்ல கிரிக்கெட் பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிட்டு சண்டே டைம்ல கிரிக்கெட் விளையாடுவோம். இப்போ 25 நாளா மழை பெய்யறதுனால எங்களால எந்த ஒரு இதுவும் பண்ண முடியல, ஒரு பிராக்டிஸ் எடுக்க முடியல, மேட்சஸ் விளையாட முடியல. ஸோ இந்த மழையால ரொம்ப அவசியம் இருக்கு.
A central team will be visiting the state to make first-hand assessment of the damage caused by floods. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha had earlier sent a letter enclosing detailed memorandum on the damages for the recent floods. The Chief Minister had written to the Prime Minister on November 23, pegging the flood damage at Rs 8,481 crores and urged him to immediately release 2,000 crores to sustain relief work. The government has so far released 939 crores, while 700 crores was released on Tuesday to Andhra Pradesh, in addition to the 330 crores given earlier. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now a look at the news and events lined up for the day in the day ahead. The central government has convened a meeting to resolve the bifurcation issues between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The centre had appointed a high-powered committee headed by Union Home Ministry Joint Secretary Alok Kumar. The committee, consisting of resident commissioners of the two states, will discuss issues that need the centre's intervention. The Supreme Court will hear BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy's plea to withdraw his 2009 petition against the Setu Sundaram project. Swamy has decided to withdraw his plea following a recent centre's decision that the mythological bridge Ram Setu would not be dismantled. The Setu Samudram shipping channel project has been facing protests from some political parties, environmentalists and several Hindu religious groups. Former media tycoon Peter Mukherjee's CBI custody in the Sheena Bora murder case will end today. The CBI, however, is likely to seek extension of his custody. Peter Mukherjee has been charged with criminal conspiracy and the murder in the killing of his stepdaughter Sheena Bora. And on the 7th anniversary of the Mumbai terror attacks, tributes were paid to the martyrs in Mumbai today. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis led the tributes to those who sacrificed their lives fighting terrorists during the attacks. And time to take a very short break. We'll be back with more international news and sports news. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire, stories of social change. A salute to diversity, promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries every Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 12:30 p.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m. Get live Rajya Sabha session. News, views, reports and analysis you can trust on social media. Subscribe, follow, like Rajya Sabha Television.
आजादी के बाद कैसे बदला परिवेश, कैसे बनी संसद, कैसे उठा देश।
When the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
कौन थे वो लोग जो दे गए हमको शानदार विरासत, लोकतंत्र की मजबूत इमारत। राज्य सभा टेलीविजन।
आपका मुद्दा, आपका हाथ, सरकार तक पहुंचेगा आपका सवाल। राज्यसभा टीवी बनेगा आपकी आवाज।
Hello, I am Ishan Russell.
I'm Tracy Shilchi and you're watching News Tonight.
Together with the team of our
dedicated professionals from across various fields.
This is Shyam Sundar,
Vishal Dahiya,
Akhilesh Suman,
Frank Pereira from Beijing, China.
Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
We bring to you
the news that matters here on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. Now let's get you some international news. Well, the US military investigation team has found that the Kunduz bombing over MSF in Afghanistan early in October was a human error. According to them, the crew of the AC-130 gunship mistook the clinic, Medicine Sans Frontiers, for a nearby government building that had been seized by the Taliban. However, the report does not address accusation of war crimes. MSF has, however, lashed back at the US for its gross negligence. They said that it constitutes a violation of the rules of war and renewed calls for an independent and impartial investigation into the attack. Now, the reports also suggest that the US military attacked MSF because they had come under fire in that area. At least 30 civilians were killed in the bombings, which the US calls the human error. The military campaign was launched by them to retake the Afghan city of Kunduz from the Taliban forces.
This was a tragic mistake. U.S. forces would never intentionally strike a hospital or other protected facilities. Our deepest condolences go to all of the individuals and families that were affected by this tragic incident. We'll offer our assistance to Doctors Without Borders in rebuilding the hospital in Kunduz.
It's pretty shocking for us that they would still fire on a target, not knowing essentially what they were firing at. And that really amounts to essentially gross negligence in terms of being able to not distinguish between the civilian and military target. And we think that that needs and requires further independent investigation, not by someone who is involved in the conflict, as the U.S. government is.
And French President François Hollande will meet his Russian counterpart Putin later today in Moscow. He will make a diplomatic push for cooperation in the fight against Islamic State in the wake of the recent Paris attacks. Now, just a day before, Hollande got assurance from US President Barack Obama to step up operations against Islamic State in Syria. In Moscow, Hollande will also press for a political solution in Syria with a change in Assad regime. However, Hollande's call for a united coalition against Islamic State might fall on deaf ears, especially at a time when Russia is at odds with Turkey over the downing of a Russian jet just a few days ago. Turkey shot down the jet, accusing that Russia resorted to airspace violations. Now, Russia, meanwhile, has renewed its airstrikes on Western-backed Syrian rebels. Despite the recent standoff, Hollande urged for de-escalation of Russia-Turkey tensions.
L'action contre le terrorisme. Et nous avons des responsabilités dans nos deux pays. Nous devons prendre toutes les mesures nécessaires pour protéger notre population et notre territoire. Car aucun pays n'est à l'abri d'une action terroriste, et notamment venant du groupe Daesh.
Meanwhile, in related news, the surviving pilot of the Russian jet downed by Turkey in his first interview yesterday said that there was no warning from Turkey and that the jet did not violate Turkish airspace. Now, his version clearly contradicts Turkey's relaying of the event. Meanwhile, the diplomatic fallout of the incident continues. Russia has broken off military contacts with Turkey while bolstering its air defenses around its base in Syria. The US, the EU and the UN have all appealed for calm. In a significant development bound to further escalate tensions in the Middle East, the surviving pilot of the Russian plane shot down by Turkey on the Syrian border said no warning was given. Captain Murakhdin said that there was no way the jet could have violated Turkish airspace, as Turkey said it did. The pilot had ejected from the missile-hit plane and was saved by Russian and Syrian special forces. The other pilot of the plane was killed by ground fire from insurgents as his parachute descended.
Мы неоднократно там выполняли боевые полеты, знаем его как свои 5 пальцев. Боевые задачи выполняли и обратно возвращались по обратному маршруту на авиабазу. Мне вообще как штурману.
Turkey and Russia continue to dispute the jet's flight path, with Russia insisting it did not leave Syria and was shot without warning, while Turkey says it violated its airspace and was warned multiple times. Russia insists it doesn't intend to wage a war on Turkey, but reinforce the sharp criticism of the country as a haven for terrorists. Russians are being advised not to go on a holiday to Turkey. Russian Foreign Minister also cancelled his planned visit to Ankara, while all military contact with Turkey has also been terminated. On Wednesday, protesters gathered outside the Turkish embassy in Moscow, pelting eggs and stones.
Воевать с Турцией мы не собираемся. Отношение к турецкому народу у нас не изменилось. У нас возникают вопросы к действиям нынешнего турецкого руководства.
Hiç kimse bizden sınır güvenliğimizin sürekli ihlal edilmesine, egemenlik haklarımızın yok sayılmasına, hak ve hukukumuzun çiğnenmesine sessiz ve tepkisiz kalmasını beklememelidir.
The Secretary General urges all relevant parties to take urgent measures with a view to de-escalate the tensions, and he hopes that a credible and thorough review of the incident will clarify the events and help prevent future recurrences.
Despite the calls for de-escalation over the downing of the plane, Russia insists it would deploy its most powerful air defense system in Syria. Russia and Turkey have found themselves on opposing sides in Syria's conflict, with Russia supporting President Bashar al-Assad, while Turkey is staunchly opposing it. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Let's get you some more international news now in World Wrap. Germany has vowed to do more in the fight against the Islamic State militants. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said it was Germany's duty to reflect and to act quickly. Her remarks came after French President Hollande asked to commit more resources. France has invoked a clause requiring EU member states to provide military assistance following the attacks. IS has said that it was behind the Paris attacks, which killed 130 people. The Islamic State militant group said that it was behind the deadly attack on a bus carrying presidential guards in the Tunisian capital Tunis. In a message on social media, it said a suicide bomber carried out Tuesday's attack, which killed 13 people. A belt containing 10 kilograms of military explosives was used in the attack. The explosion took place at a bus stop where the presidential guard picks up and drops off its staff near the former headquarters of the party of the deposed president, Ben Ali. 5 people were arrested in Chicago who were protesting over a video showing a white police officer shooting a black teenager 16 times in Chicago last year. The video released on Tuesday showed the 2014 shooting of a black teenager by a white police officer. Police say that he refused to drop a knife. The police officer, Jason Van Dyke, has been charged with the first-degree murder in the case. Chicago mayor has appealed for calm in the city. The UN has accused Yemen's Houthi rebel movement of obstructing the delivery of humanitarian assistance to the city of Taiz. UN's aid chief Stephen O'Brien warned that up to 2 lakh vulnerable civilians were living under the virtual stage of siege. Now, Houthi fighters were stopping aid lorries at checkpoints and allowing in only very limited assistance. Government forces backed by a Saudi-led coalition have been battling the rebels for the control of Taiz for months. The coalition launched an air campaign after the Houthis forced President Mansour Hadi to flee that country. And on to cricket now. In the third test between India and South Africa at Nagpur, the hosts are on the top after taking 4 quick wickets at the beginning of play on day 2. The visitors have lost 7 wickets before reaching 50 runs. Now, South Africa were in deep trouble after losing half their side with just 12 runs. Now, Indian spinners once again did the damage with Ashwin removing Dean Elgar in the very first over of the day. Ashwin then removed captain Hashim Amla before Ravindra Jadeja got the all-important wicket of AB de Villiers and followed it up with a wicket of Faf du Plessis. South Africa had started the day, remember, on day 2 today on 11 for 2.
And the mindset was, I think, good.
Well, that's all in this edition of News at 10. News and updates continue. Stay with us.